Russia, a vast and mysterious country, has always intrigued the world with its peculiarities and unique traditions. While many cultures are open to change and adaptation, Russia holds on to fascinating taboos ranging from traditional customs to odd laws, like banning lace underwear for women or prohibiting profanity in films. Due to a higher female-to-male ratio, Russian brides for export have become quite popular. While Russian women are known for their beauty, they also participate in unusual contests such as butt-slapping competitions. The country also observes customs like annual naked ice bathing, and has a lower life expectancy due to heavy alcoholism among men. Let's explore 22 taboos in Russia, and the strange traditions that leave the world in awe and contemplation. Number 22. Ban on lace underwear. A bizarre law in Russia has made the production and import of lace lingerie illegal. Health experts claim lace underwear has negative health impacts. Since July 1, 2014, such items have disappeared from store shelves. This ban frustrated many manufacturers and upset young women who even planned to stock up before the law took effect. The ban isn't just limited to Russia. Tajikistan police arrested women protesting the ban in Almaty, and the entire territories of Belarus and Kazakhstan were affected by this law as well. If you're planning to visit Russia, it's best to leave your lace laundry at home, or you might face trouble at customs. While the ban may seem like a violation of human rights, in Russia, such matters are rarely prioritized. Number 21. Ban on short skirts for female police officers. Russia's Ministry of Internal Affairs has strict uniform regulations for its police officers, prohibiting female officers from wearing skirts that are too short. The new rule mandates longer skirts and sets standards for male officers' sleeve lengths as well. The combination of the police uniform with other types of clothing is also not accepted. Additionally, those on duty will be reprimanded if their attire is wrinkled. Their view is that when you meet others, the first thing they notice is your clothing. A police officer needs to dress neatly to perform their duties well. They also believe that the freedom to dress as one pleases would diminish the police force's image and reduce the authority of the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Therefore, police units in Russia inspect their staff's attire before each workday. What do you think about this regulation? Feel free to share your thoughts. Number 20. Ban on profanity in films. While profanity is commonplace in movies worldwide, it's strictly prohibited in Russia. A law was passed banning swear words in artistic performances and public media. Violations can result in fines of up to 2,500 rubles, around $40, for individuals, and up to 50,000 rubles, about $700, for organizations. Books containing profane language are required to have a warning on the cover. Number 19. Butt-slapping competition among Russian girls. One of the most peculiar competitions in Russia is the annual butt-slapping contest held every June 10th. The rules are simple. Russian gym enthusiasts face off and slap each other's buttocks. The winner is the one who knocks the other off balance first. In one competition video, two women, one in black and one in white, demonstrate their strength. The woman in black, famous fitness blogger Anastasia Zaire, eventually wins the contest. The girls participating in this unusual competition usually avoid causing injury to their opponents. The championship is held annually as part of the Yankin Cup. What are your thoughts on this unusual contest? Number 18. Ban on LGBT. While most progressive countries respect and even recognize same-gender marriage, in Russia, the LGBT community faces a life of hardship and oppression. Since 2013, Russia has implemented a ban on the promotion of homosexuality. In 2022, President Putin signed a new decree targeting the LGBT community, banning all forms of LGBT propaganda on social media, media outlets, films, and advertisements. Under this law, any expression or mention of LGBT relationships and lifestyles is prohibited for Russian citizens. The new law also bans the sale of imported products containing LGBT-related content. Russia is currently considered a conservative society on this issue, with a majority of the population opposing the acceptance of homosexuality and supporting discriminatory laws. Many reports and international organizations have expressed concerns about the human rights situation of LGBT individuals in Russia. Before 1993, Russia considered homosexuality a crime. Since 1999, it has been classified as a mental illness. In 2022, Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a law banning LGBT propaganda. This law extended the ban on LGBT propaganda directed at minors to all Russian citizens. According to the new law, the expression and mention of LGBT relationships and lifestyles are banned for all Russian citizens. What do you think about this in Russia? Feel free to share your thoughts below. Number 16, Day of Conception. Have you ever heard of a place that allows people to take a day off just to stay home and participate in a fertility contest? It sounds crazy, but that's the reality in Ulanov, Russia, where a unique competition called Day of Conception takes place. On this day, people are encouraged to stay home and contribute to the fertility race. This initiative was started by Mr. Moore, the governor of Ulanov, Putin's hometown, to address the significant population decline in the region. Mr. Moore hopes that Ulanov residents who give birth on Russia's Independence Day, June 12th, 9 months and 10 days after this conception day, will receive rewards such as cars, refrigerators, cash, and other items. Since the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, Russia's population has drastically declined due to a low birth rate, short life expectancy, and high mortality rates from alcoholism and AIDS. Currently, Russia, although the largest country in the world, has only about 141.5 million people, and experts predict this number could drop to 100 million by 2050. Putin has called this one of the most serious issues facing the country. To encourage childbirth, he has introduced several policies, including financial subsidies for couples with 2 or more children, with support of up to $10,000 for each second or third child. However, the birth rate in Russia remains very low compared to other countries, leading to numerous serious social problems. Number 15. No freedom. Freedom in Russia is unheard of. Modern politics in Russia is a complicated issue. Around 80% of the population supports Putin, while the less enthusiastic protesters, usually young and well-educated people, are chased by the police. Since multiple protests in the 2010s, the government has designed everything to control the population and extract money from them. Even the laws here prohibit writing anything negative about the government, even on the internet. Gathering in groups of more than 3 people without government approval is also banned. There's even a new law that forces people to move from their apartments to new residences as part of a city renovation program. However, Europeans and Americans always feel a sense of freedom in Russia. Why? It's because they can openly discuss complex topics like racism or mock feminists without facing criticism from those around them. Dark humor is still very much acceptable in Russia, especially since the lack of freedom is evident in the corruption present at all levels of government and most other aspects of life. Russia has a very high level of corruption, ranking 139th globally in terms of transparency. Corruption has been a long-standing tradition in Russia, starting from the Tsarist communist era to modern times. It is said that the wealthiest 1% of Russians hold 50% of the nation's income and wealth, leaving the remaining 99% with the other half of the country's assets. As of 2024, about 8% of the population still lives below the poverty line. Russia, the land of freezing winters and steaming vodka shots, has long been associated with a strong drinking culture. However, behind the jokes about the great or the cheerful images of Russians raising their glasses, lies a severe social problem: alcoholism. Statistics show that each year, around 43,000 Russians die from fake alcohol poisoning. This alarming figure highlights that alcoholism has become a social disease, causing devastating consequences for individuals, families, and society. According to research, an average Russian drinks over 18 liters of alcohol per year. In times of economic inflation, some schools even paid teachers' salaries in vodka. Not only are Russians addicted to vodka, but they also heavily consume beer. Interestingly, before 2013, beer wasn't even considered an alcoholic drink in Russia. The average Russian drinks a large amount of beer every day, and it's estimated that more than 500,000 people die annually from alcohol-related diseases. Number 13. Low life expectancy. Low life expectancy is one of the serious problems faced by Russians. The birth rate among couples is declining, but that's just part of the issue. The bigger concern for the Russian government is the country's overall life expectancy, especially for men. Approximately 25% of Russian men die before reaching 55, and their life expectancy is much lower than in developed countries. A study conducted since 1999, involving 151,000 Russians, found that 8,000 of them had died within 10 years. The primary cause of death was vodka consumption, even after accounting for factors like age and smoking. Number 12. Gender imbalance. The number of women in Russia is much greater than that of men. There are 11 million more women than men in Russia. This imbalance has existed for over a century. It's believed that during World War II, the male population decreased significantly as the war claimed over 25 million soldiers' lives. However, in modern times, this trend has worsened due to widespread substance abuse across former Soviet states. Low life expectancy due to drug and alcohol abuse has reinforced the low number of men in the region. The current gender ratio in Russia is about 86.8 men for every 100 women. This greatly impacts traditional society, where women marry early and have children quickly. Nowadays, Russian women are encouraged to seek marriage outside Russia with foreigners to adapt to the general shortage of men. This is where mail-order brides come into play. Russian women not only become mail-order brides for a better life, but also out of necessity. There aren't enough Russian men for the number of women, so it's a way for them to leave the country and find men who are ready and willing to marry. Number 11. Ban on extremely dirty cars. If you drive in Russia, be mindful of your car's appearance, as police have the authority to pull you over and fine you if your vehicle is excessively dirty. A survey by Russian media revealed that 46% of readers agree that an unreadable license plate can also be a reason for a fine. Police here often act based on personal judgment, and if they don't like something, you might be stopped for no clear reason. You may be summoned for questioning about your behavior, or simply invited to the station to resolve matters before being sent home. However, in some cases you may be detained if deemed suspicious or fined for polluting public spaces. It's also worth noting that Russian police are sometimes drunk and may conduct checks just for entertainment. Number 10. The bear as a symbol of Russia. For many years, bears on the streets of Russia have been a common sight in various photos collected from different Russian cities and villages. Bears are often seen strolling the streets like regular Russian residents. At least bears appear more frequently in Russia than in any other country worldwide. Bears on chains, bears sitting on park benches, over 60 collected images show that the term Russian bear isn't baseless. The Ino-Kamchatsky Nature Reserve in southern Kamchatka, Russia, has the highest density of brown bears in the world, with around 2,000 bears in a relatively small area. In Kamchatka, many bears have learned to coexist with humans and aren't afraid of them. Kamchatka offers abundant food sources like nuts, berries, and salmon, so bears spend little time searching for food, allowing them more time to socialize. Here you'll find the friendliest and most cheerful bears. However, if you visit Russia and encounter a brown bear, it's best not to get too close, as they can be extremely dangerous despite their seemingly friendly nature. Number 9. Russian superstitions. Although very friendly, there's another interesting fact about Russians. They tend to be quite superstitious and traditional. One of the most common traditions is only giving an odd number of flowers. Many Russians believe that even numbers of flowers are reserved for the deceased at cemeteries. If you give a Russian an even number of flowers, they won't accept them. Besides this, Russians also believe you shouldn't wear clothes inside out. If you do, they think you'll get beaten up on the street. Russians don't believe in shaking hands over a threshold or sitting at a corner table, as it means you'll never get married. They also avoid wishing someone a happy birthday before the actual date. To avoid upsetting Russians, don't do these things when visiting. Even stranger Russians believe you shouldn't whistle indoors. It's best to avoid humming your favorite tune while in the country. Superstition has it that doing so will bring financial misfortune in the future. Moreover, they have the habit of patting a dog's head with their left hand, and believe that to make a wish come true, you need to throw a coin into Peter the Great's boot. Another superstitious practice involves choosing house building sites based on ancient rumors. They believe that the first person to enter a new house will be the first to die, so they often let a cat enter first. If the cat doesn't go in, they might tear down the house and build a new one. What do you think about Russian superstitions? Feel free to share your thoughts. Number 8. Cats are hired to work. Cats have been brought onto Russian warships and civilian vessels for hundreds of years. Many of these cats have become essential crew members, receiving medals, awards, and even officer ranks and statues. They not only hunt rats but also help sailors relax, and are considered good luck for the ship. Perhaps the most famous naval cat in the Russian Navy is Botsman, currently serving on the nuclear-powered cruiser Kirov. It's said that Botsman follows the commander's orders flawlessly and constantly improves his skills through advanced training. Beyond the Navy, Russia's largest museum, the Hermitage in St. Petersburg, also employs cats. About 70 cats work there to protect the museum's artifacts from being damaged by rats. The museum even has a press secretary dedicated to the cats and 3 caretakers. These cats live in the museum's basement and can be seen on the embankment and square during summer. In the past, they roamed freely through the museum galleries. The cats are hired to protect priceless works of art from rodents and are cherished by all museum staff. Each cat even has a personal passport with a photo and receives regular pay. What do you think about this interesting fact? Feel free to share your thoughts. Number 7. Vladimir Putin is an idol. Vladimir Putin, Russia's health icon, has consistently enjoyed high levels of support and admiration from the public throughout his years in power. He is seen as a symbol of the Russian presidency, with elections often showcasing his overwhelming victories. However, both society and the international community often criticize Russia's electoral process, raising questions about its transparency and fairness. Putin's political opponents frequently face numerous obstacles and restrictions. The media system is also tightly controlled, especially during crucial events like presidential elections, helping Putin maintain his strong position. For young Russians, instead of idolizing rock stars or sports heroes, they look up to Vladimir Putin as their #1 idol. There are many Putin fan clubs expanding across Europe, particularly among members aged 16 to 18. Currently, there are around 1,500 members in these clubs who wear t-shirts with Putin's image and organize activities praising him online. However, these groups are managed by Putin supporters and serve as a way to promote his image in response to global criticism of Russia's actions. Number 6. Russia is home to the deepest lake in the world. Lake Baikal contains about 20% of the world's fresh water and is the deepest lake globally. Around 1,700 species of plants and animals live in the lake, 2/3 of which cannot be found anywhere else on Earth. Russia is also home to about 100,000 rivers, including some of the world's most powerful ones. The Volga River is the longest river in Russia, stretching 3,530 kilometers. It starts in the Valdai Hills northwest of Moscow and flows into the Caspian Sea, receiving water from 200 tributaries along its course. Additionally, nearly half of Russia's land area is covered by forests. Number 5. The coldest inhabited place in the world. The village of Oymyakon in eastern Siberia is known as the coldest inhabited place on Earth. Its name means unfrozen water due to the nearby hot spring. The village initially served as a destination for reindeer herders who brought their animals to the spring for water. On February 6, 1933, the weather station there recorded a temperature of -67.7 degrees Celsius, which is about -89.8 degrees Fahrenheit. The record coldest temperature recorded in 1938 was -77.8 degrees Celsius, or -108 degrees Fahrenheit. The average temperature in December and January is around -50 degrees Celsius, or -58 degrees Fahrenheit. During winter, the village experiences only about 3 hours of daylight with heavy snowfall everywhere. Despite this harsh environment, life goes on as usual. The village has a small population of about 500 people. According to legend, just standing in Oymyakon for 5 minutes can cause your eyelashes to freeze. Despite the frigid climate, the residents are considered to have a high life expectancy. The first reason is that they enjoy fresh air and exceptionally pure water, and the second reason is their very healthy diet. Could you live there? Share your thoughts. Number 4. Putin released a judo instructional DVD. Yes, we were also surprised by this. Vladimir Putin, the somewhat controversial and tough president, made a judo DVD. This was clearly an interesting promotional tactic to celebrate his 56th birthday and showcase his country's athletic strength. He's also known for his hobbies, such as fishing, tracking tigers, truck racing, and skiing. In early 2008, judo enthusiasts had the chance to watch Russian President Putin teach judo techniques alongside Japanese Olympic and world champion Yoshiro Yamashita in a DVD. The BBC quoted President Putin saying, He and I will record a video accompanying a guidebook on judo techniques. Having practiced judo since his teenage years has helped Putin maintain a fit physique and inspired many teenagers to follow in his footsteps. Currently, around 200,000 teenagers practice judo in Russia. What do you think about Putin? Feel free to share your thoughts below. Number 3. The woman with the most children in the world. Although Russia typically has a low birth rate, it's astonishing that one woman holds the world record for childbirth, Valentina, who gave birth to 69 children after 27 pregnancies. According to the Guinness World Records, she is recognized as the world's most prolific mother. Although 2 of her children didn't survive, the remaining 67 were healthy and developed normally. In 1834, author Alexander Barasy mentioned records from the Nikolsky Monastery in Moscow that tracked reproductive information to monitor the population. In 1782, reports emerged about a 75-year-old peasant man with 87 children from 2 wives, 82 of whom were healthy. While many doubt this event, finding it bizarre, it's hard to believe that a woman could spend most of her life bearing children, especially in rural Russia centuries ago, where living conditions and food were scarce. It still sparks curiosity. Scientists have theorized that Russian mothers could give birth 27 times, with 16 sets of twins, 7 sets of triplets, and 4 sets of quadruplets between 1725 and 1765. However, such cases are extremely rare globally. Valentina's experience of giving birth to 16 pairs of twins is a miracle and remains a topic of debate. Number 2. Using ambulances to avoid traffic jams. Using an ambulance to avoid traffic congestion is considered a priority in society, but in Russia some people have taken advantage of this in an unacceptable way. Ambulances have been modified with luxurious interiors and even operate as taxis, catering to wealthy clients. These vehicles use sirens to easily navigate through traffic jams while inside, there are no medical staff, only people dressed in civilian clothes. When the police inspected these ambulances, they discovered the deceit, but those inside refused to provide their personal information. Moscow's streets are often congested, partly due to underground parking and restricted traffic in the city center. While this idea might seem clever from a business perspective, those involved lack awareness of ethics and social responsibility. Number 1. The beard tax. Many people feel frustrated paying various taxes each year to support society, but at least you're not subjected to a bizarre tax like in Russia, the beard tax. The Russian government required men to pay a tax for having a beard, a strange regulation that was first enacted by King Henry VIII of England in 1535. The tax rate increased based on the bearded individual's social status. Noblemen with beards were taxed. Of course, King Henry VIII himself was exempt even though he had quite a long beard. The Great Russian Empire implemented several westernization reforms to become part of Europe, but didn't skip taxing bearded men. In 1698, Peter the Great, a pro-Western ruler, believed that the widespread Russian-style beard represented conservatism and backwardness. Gentlemen with beards had to pay a significant fee and possess a special license to prove their right to keep their beard. This regulation was indeed absurd and a violation of human rights, and was abolished hundreds of years ago. However, it seems Russia still wants to hold on to a bit of this quirky past. So, we've explored the 22 most peculiar facts about Russia. What do you think about the truths I've shared above? Have you visited Russia before? Remember to comment and share your thoughts. Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest videos. See you in the next ones.